Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yashala, Kol Haloyim La Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bahashim Kahakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. And just want to say, the water to all you H.I.M and Aqua that are sincerely keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to the best of your ability. Shachanan Nawaf, just coming at you with another quick lesson. Pray that it's edifying by the Spirit. And, just mainly going into this lesson on, just showing that you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are the children of Israel. You are the true Hebrew Israelites. That's your original nationality. You're not blacks. You're not Hispanics. You're not Native Americans. You're not Haitians, Jamaicans, Cubans, Latinos, Aztecs, and all these different names that the so-called white man gave you. All those names were given to you as bywords. And I'm going to go through some of the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and show that we fit these curses to a T, man. And the people that fit these curses, they are the children of Israel. No other nation of people fit these curses like the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which we all come from Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, which his name was changed to Yasharallah, Israel. And we all come from one of those 12 sons that he had, the 12 tribes of Israel. So let's get some of this real quick. It says black, Hispanic, and poor families pay the price for being unbanked. Now, why do they always put blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans together? They didn't say Native Americans in this particular story, but say like when COV19 was out 2 years ago, who did they say was more disproportionately, affected by it? And what was the reason for you being disproportionately affected by it? Because you live in the poorest conditions, you eat the worst of foods, you drink the worst of water, and that in turn gives you underlying so-called diseases that, that'll make you more susceptible to these particular diseases that's out here. They even saying that about, I think the jungle pox too. But anyway, they always grouping us up together. And we've always been in the same group together as far as like who we're underneath, who's ruling over us, And the scriptures talks about Judah and Israel were oppressed together, roughly paraphrasing. But let's get some of this real quick, because we're going to go into the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28. And what you're going to see is we fit this very story. Blacks and Hispanic Americans are more than twice as likely as white Americans to be unbanked or underbanked, meaning they either don't have a bank account or mostly use things like check cashing services or payday lenders. And these people be getting paid, man. It says low-income families are more than 6 times as likely as wealthier families to fall into those categories. People of color and low-income people are also more likely to not have a credit score, according to a new report from the Joint Economic Committee in Congress. Usually people are underbanked and unbanked or underbanked because they don't have enough money to have a free checking account. No, ain't no such thing as no free checking account. It says a law professor at the University of California said most checking accounts have a minimum account balance, which if you go under, you will get charged. See that? And that's the way the so-called white man gets down, man, with usury. You're not supposed to be about usury, man. The scriptures talks about that. Matter of fact, let me Salakia. Okay, it's a few of them here. Precepts. Exodus 22 and 25. If thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, thou shalt not be to him as a usurer, neither shalt thou lay upon him usury. Now let's get this word. Matter of fact, let me get these other two right here. Or matter of fact, it's a few of them. Leviticus 25 and 36, that's going into the law. Let me get this Deuteronomy 23 and 19. Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother, usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury. Unto a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury, but unto thy brother thou shalt not lend upon usury, that Yahweh thy power may bless thee in all that thou settest thine hand to do in the land whither thou goest to possess it. See? And that's the way that Esau looks at us. He looks at us as a stranger. Now we're brothers by, the makeup as far as, Isaac and Rebekah having the twins, but the Lord said that he would separate us and that we will be 2 separate nations. See what I'm saying? But even amongst our people push usury upon our own people as well, because they get that concept from Esau, Edom. We never used to be like that. That's like you saying to your, you got a brother, or let's just say your mother or your father or somebody, for instance, and they like, I'm a couple $100 on short on this, and you say, all right, you need, they need $200, and you telling them, well, you're going to have to give me 300 back. That's wickedness, man. But this is how this man gets down, man. Straight up. Let me go to Leviticus, though. I want to get a little bit more on this. It's entitled Redemption of the Poor and Enslaved. Leviticus 25, I'm going to start at 35. And if thou brother be waxing poor and fallen in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him. See, you're supposed to relieve your brother. You're not supposed to add no extra burden to your brother. What does the so-called white man do? He adds extra burden. This man has been on our back, man, for like 500 years, man. Over 400. Let me get that again. It says, if thy brother be waxing poor and fallen in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him. Yea, though he be a stranger or a sojourner, that he may live with thee. Take thou no usury of him, which that's going into the Israelites. That lets you notice this is going into an Israelite. This is somebody that would be a stranger. They're Israelites, but they don't live in Judea or whatever. Or they don't live in Jerusalem. They coming from, another city or whatever, though he's a stranger, that we can't exact usury upon him, man. It says, take thou no usury of him or increase, but fear thou Yahweh, that thy brother may live with thee. See, the so-called white man, they don't fear Yahweh, man. Matter of fact, if they fear Yahweh, they would actually call him by his original name, which is Yahweh, which means that he exists where he is to be, and they wouldn't have gave you that Jehovah crap and whitewashed him and made him look like a so-called white man. Same thing they done with his son, Salaki at the plantation. Same thing that they done with his son, Yahushua, which the world ignorantly calls Jesus, man. That's not his name. That's not who, that whitewashed picture that you see of Cesar Borges. That's not the Lord. They don't have no respect for the Lord. They don't have no fear of the Lord, man. Verse 37, it says, thou shalt not give him thy money upon usury, nor lend him thy victuals for increase. I am the Lord Yahweh, which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt to give you the land of Canaan and to be your power. Okay, so there you have it, man. Let's go back into it. See, the so-called white man, they'll tell you, oh, this is a Christian nation. They, everybody got a damn Bible on the dashboard of their damn car. You see these so-called white people, they'll have a cross hanging from the mirror. But they're treating the children of Israel like crap, man. Okay, it says, what else did they have? A lot of people can't afford to leave hundreds of dollars or more just sitting in a bank, she said. The other problem is there's a lot of communities in America that don't have a bank branch that is close to them. That's true. Shit, I live in a spot where, hell, I got to go miles to go and hit a damn bank if needed. For people who don't have a bank account or a credit card, there's a good chance they also don't have a credit score, which you shouldn't have to have a goddamn credit score anyway. Your word should be your word. If you borrow from somebody, you should be able to, give it back to them on the proper time that you said that you were going to give it back to them, man. It says, people can't get apartments. They can't start businesses. They can't even buy cars, or they can't, in some cases, even get jobs. And that's true. This is the system that this man has set up, man. You can't even get a damn job unless you got a credit score with him. Now, what kind of sense do that make? One way to help more low-income people build credit histories would be to expand the kinds of transactions that factor into credit scores. Or they about to get down with this that Revelations 13 and 16 soon, though. When they want to put that potato chip in your ass, and they might offer you a certain amount of credits. Yeah, we'll start you off with $1,000. Just come through and let us put this damn device in you. It says, for example, making payments on your rent or paying for your cell phone or your other utilities, he said. It says, he also like to see bank offer more products like checking accounts and limited credit lines that are specifically geared towards low-income people. One where people don't have to pay just to keep an account open. That's crazy, man. You got to pay these people to keep your bank account open. You could have a checking account product where it does not have overdraft fees, for example, and they be killing, man. Killing. Now, before I go off into these curses, let's get a couple of these comments, because you know, so-called white people, you'll see the hatred in a lot of them in the comments. It says, what does it take to open up a checking account? $50. A lot of businesses require you to have a checking account because that's how you will get paid. Always has to be something racist going on for these leftists. See, this is what I'm talking about. Motherfucker he just missed the whole story. Just missed the whole story. Must have not read it all. Anyway, saying it's not racial. It's lower income families of all races are more likely to use predatory lending options. You don't need to say black or lower income families when well off. Middle class families of all colors aren't experiencing these issues. See, like I said, you know, you're going to get all kinds of silly shit from Esau, man. They're going to, you know, because they don't understand. They don't understand. See, they still okay, you know, but they falling off bad, though. They all right. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of so-called white people out here, man, that don't have bank accounts and stuff. But the thing of it is it's been like that for us since we've been here. That's the thing. See, they've had an opportunity to come up, start a business, be able to put on a suit and tie and get an opportunity, man. Jake can have a great credit score and got all the shit that he needs together to do the same thing that the so-called white man. And this guy can come in, don't have no money. He don't have nothing towards going to, you know, a bad business plan and everything. And they'll still loan him the money. But when it comes to Jake, they'll be like, oh, well, you know, it's nothing we can do right now. So it's always, that's been with housing, you name it, whatever in this place, man. We've always been done dirty and have always been on the lowest of the totem pole. But if you notice, they always mentioning blacks, Hispanics. Because why? We're family, man. Well, let me grab these other two. I got like two more precepts. Like I said, I'm at the plantation. They just kind of shot me a move to make. Proverbs 22:7. Let's get that real quick. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. And we're servants to these people. We've always been servants to them. What happened with slavery? They got hundreds of years of free damn labor out of us. And then they'll still tell you, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. What are you doing? Get busy. You know, you're lazy. Here you go. Jake got to work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, with the wife working 2 jobs, 3 jobs, and possibly, you know, everybody stacked up in a damn house. You got 4 incomes. You know, people, you know, you need everybody in the house got to put towards something, man, just to make ends meet out here on a day-to-day basis, man. It's incredible. But let's go into Deuteronomy 28, though, because these are those curses, because the Lord told us, hey, look, if you do what I tell you to do, you're going to be on top. Matter of fact, let's start at verse 1. Blessings for obedience. Deuteronomy 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that Yahweh thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. See? And all these blessings shall overtake thee, and all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. So if we listen, now let me go to verse 12, because this is one of the main ones going with the lesson here. Now, had we listened to the Lord and not went to worshiping and serving these other gods and idol worship and a bunch of other wickedness, man. Verse 12, the Lord shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven to give thee rain unto the land in his season, and to bless all the work of thine hand, and thou shalt lend unto many nations. See, we're supposed to be lending to them. We're not even supposed to be trying to go and get a goddamn loan, because why? You know, hey, what did the scripture just say in Proverbs 22:7? That the borrower is servant to the lender. These people come, man, they'll come take every damn thing you got, man, for a few dollars, man, that you didn't pay them, man. It says, and the Lord shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath. If that thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord Yahweh, thy power, which I command thee this day, to observe and to do them. See that? So that, hey, if we had done what the Lord said, That's why in this new contract or this new covenant, the law, statutes, and commandments are going to be written on our hearts and our minds. We're not going to mess up, man. We're going to know exactly what to do robotically, so to speak. So that's going to mean that we're not going to die, and we're going to be above all these nations like it was originated to begin with. Now let's move on down, because these are the curses, right? Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. You already know how that go. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. We're not gonna have anything. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body. That's why our children, man, are all out of whack. And the fruit of thy land, the increase of thine kind, and the flock of thy sheep. So if you read all the way through this, man, what you're going to see is we fit these curses to the T, man. That's the reason why we're at the bottom. That's the reason why, we're in the neighborhoods of nastiness, man. We're just, every corner you walk by, it's a piss smell or a defecation smell, or, you're just seeing Jake out here bugged all out his damn mind, man. And these hey, matter of fact, let me get let me see, get verse 46. That way we can yeah, you got to read through it, man. It's a lot of them too. Hey, I want to get this one. Yeah, man. Verse 37, it says, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword. That's why they call you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. They're not going to call you by your original name. They don't even want you to know you're an Israelite. Among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee. So everywhere we are, there's, even in Chinese, they got some nigger word or some byword for Jake, man. Verse 38, thou shalt carry much seed out into the field, and shalt gather but little in, for the locust shall consume it, man. Lord wasn't joking with us, man. Thou shalt begot sons and daughters. Verse 41, thou shalt begot sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. Come on, man. You see some of these 12 years a slave and all these movies, Jake on the auction block, and the so-called white man selling a husband to this guy over here, selling the wife to this guy over here, and selling the kids, separating the kids. Whole family just separated, man, under this man's rulership. But hey, we gonna get that lake back though. I'm at 43, verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. That's why you'll see in your neighborhoods the so-called you got all the other nations in your neighborhood. They own the beauty supply stores, they own the mechanic shops, they own the banks, they own the supermarkets, they own the you name it, gas stations, everything that we have to go and get to survive. We got to go and get it from our enemies, and the enemies, they're right amongst us. They come set up shop in our neighborhoods, make all the money that they can off of us, and then they go back to their neighborhoods. They don't live amongst us, but they'll come and set up shop around us, man. You can't tell me this is not us. This is the point right here, verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. And you can't tell me that that's not happening to the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. This is not happening to the small hatters, the 1948ers that's over there in the land calling themselves the Israelis. They're doing swell. They're doing swell. Verse 45, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh, thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee. And we're the most destroyed people on the planet, man. We are the most destroyed. Look, when you have a nation that don't have a military, a standing military, you in bad straits, man. Straight up. Salaki, I'm gonna get this one last hookup right here. I'm gonna end out Deuteronomy 28:46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. See, this is how you know who the children of Israel are. If you have a spiritual eye, man. You see? Because we fit these curses. It says that they will be for a sign and a wonder. That's just like if you see a McDonald's sign, that big ass M in the sky, that arc, the golden arches, you know you at McDonald's. You know, companies put up signs to let you know this is who we are. And this is who we are, man, the Israelites. What is that? Let me just get a little bit more. 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee. So these people are our enemies. They're not friends of ours. In hunger, if we want something to eat, we got to go to them. You're not going out in the back and getting no damn your own goat milk or your some cattle, or butchering your own animals, or picking your own fruits and veg. We don't have no land and stuff like that. And the so-called black farmers, the few that's still out here, man, they struggling to stay afloat. But you got to go to this man's supermarket and hope that the shit is fresh and that it's really what it's saying on the label. Bunch of damn GMO foods, a bunch of seedless this, seedless that, abominable foods. What the scripture says that we'll eat our bread to foul among our captives, man, roughly paraphrasing. So we have to go to them for hunger, man, and in thirst. You got to pay this man a damn water bill. Right now where I live at, man, Jake, one city that's a little bit over from me, but it's all Jake though. They owe a $21 million water bill, man, to the city that we stay in. Water should be free, man. I get it on maintenance. Things got to be maintained. I get all that. But goddamn, the so-called white man done capitalized on all the resources, and he's selling you shit that should be for free. You got to pay this man a water bill. Or if you want a damn pack of Kool-Aid, you got to go to this man, a soft drink or whatever. You want a bottled water or whatever, man. You got to go to this man for thirst, right? And in nakedness. You got to go to this man for clothing, man. Now, Jake may own a little clothing store. He might be, I'm going to open up a spot where, they selling little stuff. But we're not in control of none of the materials is the thing. We're not in control of, the dyes that go into it, the stitchings and needles and you name it, man. Sewing machines. They own all that shit, man. It says in want of all things. So if you want anything in this society, you got to go to this man for a driver's license. You got to go to this man. If you want to go fishing, you got to get a fishing permit from him. If you want to go and hunt, you got to get a hunting permit from the guy. It don't make no difference. You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are not moving around this planet without this man's permission, with his hands in on it. Now, you see, people take that lightly because our people don't really think like that. I'm free. Yeah, you're free to jump in your car and go somewhere, but you're in the land of a captivity. You can't leave this place without this man's permission. You got to have his passport. You got to be able to show that you've gotten this man's immunization shots and all this other stuff, man. You're not free. You see? It says, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. See? And if you put in yoke of iron, matter of fact, let me just do it real quick. I'm just going to put in yoke of iron. Let me copy it. I'm going to go to the, let me open up. Matter of fact, I could have just put it in. Let's put this in real quick and see who pops up. There you go. There you have it. There you have it. You put in yoke of iron, and they starting to get rid of some of this stuff. But if you go to images, all you're going to see is Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, man, chained up. This is proof that we fit those curses. According to verse 46, I just read, that there'll be a sign and a wonder, man. This is us. This is our people. And the reason why I wanted to do this lesson was to just show that we have that common enemy, man. You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are the children of Israel. You are not these bullshit names that these people gave you, man. And their kingdom is falling. It's about up for them, man. It's about up for them. It's a wrap for them, man. So, hey, all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man, because we are ready to go into our rightful state, man. We ain't just niggas, man. We royalty, man. You see? So with that, I pray that this lesson was edifying. Kwam Yashala.